Hi, this is Deb. I want to say I am sincerely grateful for the help that's arrived, but being in full possession of absolutely the entirety of my mental facilities, I have to say I'm dismayed that I didn't receive the help that I needed. It feels like I've been asking for milk and I've gotten the phone number to a hardware store. I am in financial distress. I have not a single mental health blip. I am in fact certain when people will stream my videos that what you'll find is that I am a paragon of mental health, expressing the full catastrophe of a very challenging situation that is not to do with me, it is to do with the state of the US of hypocrisy, how the pandemic has affected everyone and made it impossible for people to help somebody trying to do something that takes some mental processing on their part. Now, I am in love with life, and I want to say thank you to the person who showed up, because what I received was something I've never had before, which is a very competent, caring, smart person to have been introduced to my work. This is the very first person introduced to my work who has told me, you're onto something. What you're selling, what you are talking about as far as life-centric thinking, the ways that you are trying to help the world, they are crucial. So I want to say that that is absolutely a priceless gift. But I do still need money. I still need the help that I reached out to get, which was a post seeking donations via my website. I need money to help stay alive in the coming heat wave. I need help making it through this transitional period when the challenge is finding a human with an attention span to take a look at my work. Yes, it is challenging. It is very complex. That is precisely what I'm here to help humanity return into. The complexity of being human is beautiful, and it takes a brand new cosmology, and it takes people willing to look at science in a completely different way. It takes people willing to open up into the fact that we have a chronic disease epidemic, we have a enviro-mental problem, and that most of these problems are due to capitalism. At the root cause, and I will do the logic for anyone at any time, plantation capitalism is what my problem is, and it is the problem of everyone else in the world right now. We have an economic framework that only serves the elite and means that the rest of the people live lives of indentured servitude. I, for one, am taking a stand against that, and I have to succeed, not just for my own self, but for the fact that who else has lived a life of such rare circumstances and done it with such style to have kept going? I'm doing my absolute best. Why is the system not working in my favor? Well, the system is built to not work in anyone's favor. And I have the complex thinking and the real simple thinking too of life-centric thinking to help us all. Again, it's very important for me to speak my truth, and receiving help that was not necessary has taken all day yesterday and today. All of my electricity bandwidth has been in not pursuing a patron. And that sets me back. what I need right now is $200 donated through my website. I need $65 to pay for the very soon ending of this monthly contract on this phone. I need to buy dog food, and then I need a lot of water for the coming heat wave. I'm also if again, at any point in time, somebody had just asked me what I needed, I am working hard to sell these videos as hashtag NFT art. This is a very lucrative new space. A lot of people are looking to find it. Find new and innovative ways to invest in digital works of performance art. And that's what I need, is a patron who has plenty of spare money, who's willing to invest in the risk that these videos will appreciate, and they will. If anyone just even looks for a second and scrolls through the title, you will see me documenting what this economic system has put me through at a very high level of mental fitness. So thank you again. Everything contributes to the path and the process. But unfortunately, we live in a country where my access to money is utterly flummoxing me. I have no idea why people don't see the value in what I am selling. I have turned the placebo effect into placebo tools. That is worth $1 billion. I have designed artisanal capital to help take some of this venture capital, which is all based on competition and all very inefficient, and said, let's get some of these people creating annual salaries for the creative, philosophical people who are ready to talk about fixing this world. There's not a single intractable problem in my model of the universe. Everything is down to life force, and that means that we are the generation of adults who have to change our insane thinking that we inherited from men hundreds of years ago who had no access to even the slightest bit of scientific data that we have. It is insane to keep working on a separation of church and state when what that got us was a petty filial culture of, I can't even, how do we let that happen? How is religion the place where you go to get abused as a kid? Well, that's because of the faulty, flawed thinking that people don't need sex. What we need, though, is a separation between state and commerce, because our democracy is 100% beholden to the money. And what I need is money, and I have looked, and the money resources require a residency in Allegheny County. I am not incompetent in any way. I have examined this situation every which way. If I do find myself in an emergency situation, I now know where to go. But what I need is money so that I can continue reaching out to people who have spare capacity financially, who can help me network to a patron. Sorry that this has been a little bit blunt, but I'm trying to work in a non-friendly environment, and trucks and trains and all sorts of things. I'm just trying to be brief. Thank you for everything. It is a new experience for me to have people working on my side, but it also brings up the trigger of the neglect that nobody seems to bother to want to ask me what I need or to follow through in the ways that I have demonstrated time and time again that there is nothing mentally unstable about me. And I'm not going to take a place from a resource from somebody else, because all I do is talk about my situation. I don't need anyone to talk to. I need financial patronage, investment in a true world evolving theory of everything that I have demonstrated a great capacity to share as a stand-up philosopher. That the conditions of the pandemic have made it impossible for even seasoned performers to work. It is a very challenging situation, but nothing to do with any sorry, it just really hurts. It really hurts that people who should understand the quality of this midlife metamorphosis that I've been through feels like a betrayal. And as my whole life I have unintentionally been neglected from getting any need met because people are coming from their own vantage point. It's as though I don't exist. I know that perhaps my circumstances are scary to other people, but I am doing this because going to Carnegie Mellon is simply the only solution I had. Having asked and tried to find people to spend time with me on Whidbey Island and failed beyond Jane. It is the lack of other humans coming into my life with the concept of holding space for who I am specifically and rarely. So you see, I will process absolutely everything at every level. I really am, truthfully, mentally fit in a way that any of the main people, Gabor Mate, Peter Levine, I've taken all of their work and made a living process of it as a philosopher. It's another angle of people who may be in a position to listen to me, because what my work is about, not just getting my own stand-up philosophy career, but I will create the genre. And the genre of stand-up philosophy is about getting people a stage, a safe, vulnerable stage to process their trauma out loud. That is precisely how we all move past the situation where adults keep traumatizing kids because there's simply nowhere for them to voice what happened to themselves, and they repeat the pattern. So again, 360 holistic thinking and performances. The mental health system should be contacting me and paying me for consulting. I know it sounds egotistical, but I mean it as a philosopher. I mean it as in, my story matters. The specificities of everything I've been through. And getting the neuroimaging of my brain, which is why I'm at the world-class research university that I graduated from, where it is impossible that I need to contact the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette to say, what does it take to get a Carnegie Mellon professor to call an alumni? This is the problem I am dealing with. What does it take for an independent intellectual who's done decades of research to be able to find somebody who's not all about my work, but the intersection of where their work might save human lives through what I've lived through? So there we go. I'm doing perfectly all right. I am again, The YouTube channels exist. The way I'm processing so much neglect, so much non-response, so much help that doesn't take a moment just to make sure what I need. I need a donation to my website, and I need help finding somebody who is an investor in the art world, or who is an investor in human potential, or who is an investor in getting their own chronic disease solved. The philosophical hypothesis of bioelectricity is a unifying theory of human energy, potential, and well-being. I am certain of it. And it doesn't have to be correct. It is a valid hypothesis that I can share with medical researchers across the realm. I've went out to biomedical engineers at Carnegie Mellon, psychologists, biologists. I just keep anyone who's talking about being human is somebody who I can offer ways around the faulty paradigm that created from the Cartesian split. I can unite mind and body and soul in a coherent philosophical theory that changes the way we act as human beings, that integrates alternative and contemporary complementary medicine and unites African, Eastern, and Western approaches to do-it-yourself healthcare. That is a global symposium that, again, somebody can sponsor. Is an investment vehicle. I have a number of them depending on who the person is and what their interests are. I have investment vehicles. I keep trying to meet people up here, and our society has these moats built that these people don't want to talk to people, but they actually do. There's no question in my mind that get me to a person who can write checks, who has some interest in wise feminine philosophy, and everything gets solved. All of the lack in my life gets solved when somebody acknowledges my work, pays me to do the work in the world, which I have been denied the dignity of getting paid for my work for over a decade. I was so successful in that crappy old model that I self-funded my own disability for over a decade. Pretty damn rare. And advocating for my own needs shouldn't make me feel like I'm harming other people. But you know it does. Because there was an email sent to me that was scolding. And I did not deserve it. I did not need to have to deal with somebody scolding me because I need help. There. Okay, we've processed all of it. I was avoiding that situation. But it is, again, crucial. My whole life, nobody's let me speak and been present to the truth of who I am. So this is the full truth. As I live and breathe, I am mentally fit in a way that I need to share with the world. Please help me do that. Thank you. Harmony.